The Angels 2014. The Angels world champions. Oh, and first pitch crushing.
Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield Baseball Network with your host, Todd Fox, and the other host of the show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Randy Odd, a.k.a. Fast Times Under the Halo.
Hell yeah, Randy's here, but we're missing one. He's on assignment. We designated him for assignment for this show.
BFA'd.
Yeah, exactly. Fernando's on the road on this one, so he'll be with us later in the week to do another pod. But on this pod, we're going to catch you up on the happenings going on, not only with the Angels making some free agent pickups to the bullpen, but also maybe some future transactions, and then also talking about some of the free agent signings that have gone elsewhere that were rumored to either be coming here or to other teams. There's been quite a few surprises and something different from the CBA that we weren't expecting after it's been signed. So we'll get into all that, and plus what Randy's going to add too, because he did some of his homework here for this show, and so did I. So let's get going. Randy, what's one of the first topics you want to hit on, dude?
Well, I wanted to tap on what Perry was saying in that interview in the booth the other day.
Okay.
About how he's not done, signing talent yet. At least that's what I got from the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, man, you got a guy like Cueto sitting out there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he had a big contract, the last time, but like we were just saying off air, he's like 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we can get him under 10 million, right around that $7 to $8 million range, I don't see why we don't go after that. I mean, you slot him into like the third or fourth spot in that rotation, cut the pressure off of Sandoval and a guy like Detmers lower down, in the rotation. Dude, that would be a lethal fucking rotation, dude.
It absolutely would. I mean, you have other starters in there. Who's the guy we got? Not Sorensen, the guy from the Reds.
Oh, Bradley?
No, he got Bradley was from the Phils.
That's right.
The starter. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Yeah, but you have. Well, I'll pull it up right now. But what you have right now is you got Noah. You got what do you call it? You got Noah Syndergaard, you got Ohtani 1 and 2, and they were trying to hint towards the fact that they wanted Syndergaard to be number 2 and Ohtani to be going up against Verlander for the opening day, the start. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. I really want to take the pressure off Ohtani. But the way it is right now was starters. Michael Lorenzen, that's who it is.
Lorenzen, okay.
Yeah. I keep forgetting because we got him like right after Noah, and it was such a long time ago.
He does. He seems to slip under that radar, man.
Yeah, but I mean, as it stands, I mean, I'm happy with the rotation, what they got right now, and then the bullpen upgrades. We'll get into that in a minute. But I really like the fact that what you're saying, if they were going to get Cueto, they could go with a 6-man rotation with Detmer 6, Sandoval 5th, and then you have Lorenzen 4th, and then you could go 3rd Cueto, 2nd Ohtani or Syndergaard. Flip them. That's a hell of a rotation.
Hell of a rotation.
Yeah, exactly. Something that this team has lacked in over the last 7 years, because what you said as far as, $7-8 million for Cueto, consider what we paid for Trevor Cahill and Julio Teheran. Cueto would be a huge upgrade. You feel like we'd have to pay Cueto more than that,
Yeah, no kidding. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I'm sure Cueto would be like, didn't you pay those morons like, didn't you give me like 15? Because I'm pretty sure he'd deserve it.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, what are your impressions on the bullpen so far, man? The pickups of Bradley and.
I mean, you talk about a guy like Bradley. Like, this is what I got off Bradley when I was looking up some of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's a back end guy, and 50 innings pitched, just a little over 50 innings pitched last year with a 3.7 ERA, dude.
Mm.
The only thing with him is he missed time with 2 oblique strains last year. So I'm hoping that's not something that's gonna, creep up this season. So
go ahead.
Oh no, it's just saying this injury bug is something you may have to look out for with him.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping that we didn't have any issues with that, because what we're going to see in this preseason moving forward out of spring training with abbreviated spring training, no pitchers and catchers reporting, there's a high risk for injury and no stretching. But the fact that a good thing that we have on our side this year is we don't have that old training staff. We were brand new training staff from Atlanta. So hopefully that's a different, we have a different scenario here where everyone comes out pretty healthy, at least for April, giving us a chance. But those obliques are nothing to be played with. Ryan Tepera is another guy who has been ERA of under 3, and he's about 2.5. Very solid setup guy in the White Sox bullpen. You add those two guys just by themselves, man, and they're a huge upgrade for any bullpen.
Oh yeah, and the Ryan. From what I was reading, it looked like he had stints with like 3 different teams last year. And he still was shutting it down.
Yeah.
So I mean, that seems like a guy we could, back into the rotation, even a middle relief guy. I mean, it just doesn't seem like anything phases that guy. I mean, you got him moving city to city to city in one city, and he's just sitting there freaking throwing his balls off, dude. I mean, come on. That's a guy. That's a guy that's focused.
Yeah. That's an epitome of a hired gun, right? Like he has no he doesn't care where he's sleeping at night. He's just
exactly
gamer, man. Yeah, so you have now a bullpen of Andrew Wantz. I don't know if all these guys are going to make the roster. That's a problem. The open roster. I mean, you got Butters, you got Ty Buttrey, our boy, Andrew Wantz. You got Austin Warren. You got Quijada, Suarez, because I'm pretty sure he's going to come out of the bullpen. You got Tepera now. Iglesias, Loop. It's just dude, last season or the year before, bro, what were we saying? Like who's going to be coming out of the bullpen? Like what kind of options do we have? We got crappy pitchers. The starters are going to get, blown out. So we're going to heavily rely on the bullpen. Now it looks like that's the strength of the team. The rotation looks good. Matt Wise is the pitching coach, full term now. What do you think in Randy's mind? What do you think this team's going to be capable of this year? ERA?
I think, starting rotation, I mean, we just got to see how, Tawny's going to replicate what he did last year. If Syndergaard at that arms or that elbow, I should say, is ready. Everybody else, I think, it's just a matter of, getting through the season healthy. I think that's Sandoval's biggest thing because he was pitching lights out last year.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like you said, man, if his starters can get through 5-6 innings and we can turn it over to the bullpen, like you said, it's going to be our strength. Because if you look at the guys we have in there this year compared to the guys we had in there last year, the guys in there this year would have made up the number 1 bullpen in all of Major League Baseball last year.
Yeah.
The Angels had the 24th ranked bullpen in all of Major League Baseball last year. So you can't tell me, you drop 19, even if you're a top 5 bullpen, you go from 24 to number 5, dude. I tell you right now, as long as you're winning those games, because you don't want to be turning over your bullpen, down, 7-0 or whatever. But if you're turning it over to the bullpen and you're winning those games, I guarantee you this ball club's winning 90+ games and we're in the postseason, dude.
I agree with you because, I mean, you had so many blown saves last year. I think the bullpen ranked dead last or near dead last for the first 3 months of the season. The ERA was high. It didn't really come into its own to the end of the season when you got all the young guys up there. Hergott was another guy that came in, did a good job. So I think there's a lot to look forward to as far as the bullpen. And I'm with you, man. Those starters give us 5 to 6 innings. We should be in good shape. And the bullpen will save us on some games where maybe, it's 3-1. We're just not scoring, but then we just have a breakout inning and put a 4 spot up and boom, you're in a save situation. So, and they have the offense to do that. Now we know that there's a couple dry spots, meaning shortstop and catcher, but I think the rest of the lineup looks pretty darn good. With all that being said, because we touched on that last podcast, what do you think, bro, our chances are? Because we kind of established that I don't think Oakland/Vegas is going to be there with us. We don't think Texas is going to be there with us. But Seattle, we think we can have a good shot at. We're even. But with Houston losing Correa, do you think we have a shot at Houston this year?
See, that's tough because, we sit here all the time when we talk about baseball about how one player is not going to make you or break you.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, there may be a difference with that team, but I mean, the overall makeup of the Houston Astros, man, I mean, they're a solid squad.
They are.
And I really feel like because they didn't really go out and spend a shit ton of money in free agency this season.
All I know is they re-signed a couple guys. I didn't see adding anybody really.
Right.
Pretty much.
And I honestly didn't really need to. I mean, they were probably waiting for Correa, obviously, but I mean, that team is solid, man. I really think with the team that we're putting together and the team that Seattle's putting together, it was like you said, it's a 3-man race, and it's like I said, I don't think what and we say it all the time, one person's not going to make you or break you, so I don't think that's going to really phase Houston all that much. But as far as the Angels go, we just got to worry about ourselves. Hopefully we're not looking up too far at Houston. Throughout the season, we just got to try and keep up. The main focus for this year, though, is to try and get that wild card spot. I believe. I mean, I don't know if we're ready for division champ. I think it's really going to take a big implosion by Houston. But I think, like you said, with Seattle, I think that's our main competition right now.
Yeah, I think at times if Houston gets off to a good start with Dusty Baker, they're always going to be – his teams are going to be good. But they're like 10 games out. Yeah, you stick with Seattle and just don't even worry about the rest of the league. Just know that if you get that second spot in that division, you're going to be in the postseason. And
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we need to wet our whistle. I'm right there with you, man. We got to get in the postseason, and then we aim higher next season. But, crazier things, I'm not going to write them off for the division because I know they got Verlander. I'm not too worried about him, but they have young arms like McCullers and a couple other guys they brought up last year that just are solid. And like you said, they have a solid team. They have a solid farm system. They're going to be hard to knock off. We really have to be playing our best ball to catch them. So,
yeah.
But if it happens, I've seen stranger things happen. So, I'm all for it for sure. But definitely, it's gonna be a fun division. The rest of the American League is beefed up. I know Fernando mentioned that next season we're gonna be able to play all the teams in baseball, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
No more of that, you're just playing one division this year, like we're doing this year. It's like, no, you're playing everybody, and that's freaking sick. And then, all the rule changes with the shifts and stuff, so you're going to see a lot more averages go up. And so maybe next year's a year, where we could pop off. But guys there's, to me, Trout, Rendon, and okay, let me ask you this. Out of these 4 guys, who do you think has the most pressure to repeat their prior success or last year's success? Walsh, Ohtani, Trout, or Rendon?
Oh, this is easy. Rendon.
Rendon? Okay.
Yeah. Because you figure he came in, 2020?
Yes.
That was his first year, shortened season. Some say he was well on his way. That's easy to say, but, he could also slumped off somewhere along the line in a 162-game season.
That's true.
But that's here nor there. And then you had last year where he was injured. So we got $245 million invested in, man. We'd like to see at least a complete season. Similar or somewhat close to what you did in Washington. $245 million, 7 years. Now you're going into the third year of that deal. It would be nice to see something.
Yeah.
So I really think it's Rendon.
Okay. I was just thinking Trout because, he has that larger than life American superstar. And then, you got that. And then you got Ohtani with his, world superstar, and he put on a brilliant season last year. But can he come close to that this year? Hopefully, maybe get more RBIs because I'd love for him not to have 45 homers and 90 RBIs.
Yeah, no kid.
Yeah, and then
that means guys got to get on base too.
Yeah, and I put Walsh in there, and I don't know why I did, because I think he's got the easiest job. Everyone overlooks him, dude. You know, like they're like, oh, let's pitch to the other guys, and I think that's where Walsh could have a really nice season this year.
Especially if you got a healthy Trout in the lineup the whole year.
If you got a healthy Trout and a healthy Rendon, my God, dude, like because I was saying it in the last post game, if Rendon can hit you 30 homers and 105 RBIs with a 260, 280 average and getting his walks in between, damn, that's like, to me, that's an MVP, even if Trout or Ohtani have better numbers, because you've been waiting for that at third base.
Oh, yeah.
So
that'll definitely net you comeback player of the year.
Absolutely. You should. I mean, unless someone else does something else crazy, but
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So what about your lineup? What to me, or to you, what is a bigger hole, shortstop or catcher right now for the Angels? Considering all players that could be plugged in.
Well, like I harped on Stassi last week, but I would have to say it was shortstop, because, like I said, if Stassi can play 100+ games, then he's all right in my book.
Okay.
He's not an all-star, superstar catcher, but he's serviceable. But it's just, you got to play 100. At least for me, a catcher, I would say at least 115, 120 games. Give the other guy the other 40 or whatever. Give him some time off. But yeah. I think it's shortstop. Although Rojas is starting to show. Wait, is Rojas a shortstop, or is he an outfielder?
He's basically anything. He plays all infield and all outfield. Yeah.
Well, he's showing us a little something this spring. So, I mean, if you wanted to platoon Rojas and maybe Duffy at short, although I mean, and this is just me, and I'll probably get my head ripped off for this one by Halo fam. But I mean, if he was to show a decent spring, I would be okay with putting Duffy at second and putting Fletch at shortstop. Because Fletch has already said he'll play anywhere. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, and Madden likes him anywhere in the infield too. So you always have that option. And then you also got Mayfield in the mix. So someone's going to be asked out, unfortunately. And then
someone's got to show up.
Yeah, yeah. And my thing is, I know you just paid Suzuki 1.75, but you brought in Austin Romine as well. Austin Romine is not the best catcher in the world. Let's just put that out there either. But I think he's miles ahead of Kurt Suzuki, or at least what Suzuki did last year. Why didn't they do that first? Why didn't they just say, hey, let's give Romine a shot, see what he could do,
Yeah, it's with Suzuki, there's obviously a relationship there between him and Perry. There might even be a relationship there between him and Artie. I mean, Artie probably likes him a shit ton too. But I really think it's just familiarity. I still can't say that word. I don't know why.
That always with the pair.
Yeah, with the entire pitching staff. I mean, I don't know why else you would give a 39-year-old guy. I don't know. I think that's 38, 39-year-old catcher. I mean, I think he was labeled like one of the worst defensive catchers in all of baseball last year.
Well, yeah, he led the league in throwing the ball to center field. He had the hardest time getting the ball to second base. So
he's in the wrong sport at this age. He need to go play in the NFL.
Exactly. He's like, go deep. It's like, no. Oh man. Yeah. I with the options you brought up, second base seems to be the more, you can interchange guys at least. Well, on catcher right now, it's like either Stassi or Suzuki, and it's the same thing we had last year. And we got to trust that Stassi can ball out and hit some homers this year, because he was inconsistent a lot, but he did have some stretches where he hit some homers and got on base, and he didn't put it all together all year. And then Suzuki was one of those guys where you're like, okay, easy out, and then he would just shock you with a double down the line every now and then. But
right, I'll tell you right now, the best scenario to play out coming out of the spring would be that Matt. Am I saying this right? Matt Theis shines, and they had no choice but to say, okay, sorry, this is our backup catcher.
Yeah,
I mean, Suzuki's not even in camp right now, is he? I mean, isn't he? Wasn't he designated for assignment?
no, he's in camp. He's in camp.
Oh, okay.
But my thing is, yeah, I mean, if Dice were to hit anywhere consistently and be at least a decent catcher or a catcher that they're happy with, you know, having a catcher from the left side and one from the right would be amazing to have.
Oh yeah.
In pitch hitting situations or late in games when you see like they're going to go to their bullpen, which is mostly righties, and you could force their hand with a lefty. That'd be great to have, you know, another option out there. And if somehow, some way Taylor Ward made the team, you could use him as a third catcher if you were to take out, you know, Suzuki early in the game or Stassi. So there's ways to play it. Just the roster spots having enough on the team. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it because there's so much for a long time. The Angels really haven't had that kind of depth, and now they have it. So we'll just have to see who balls out, and like you said last week, next man up mentality. If you don't,
absolutely, yep,
yeah. So with that being said, I thought last week that Trevor Story would fall into the Angels' laps. Whose laps did he fall into today?
Oh, goddamn Red Sox, man.
Red Sox, yes. He pulled in, what, a 7-year 160? Something like that? Or a 5.
And you know the Rockies, I think, offered him right around the same amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was
for
done.
him was to go to a winner, I guess.
Yeah, he was done with the Rockies. You know,
Yeah.
it's proven. We've talked about how bad that organization's been run and how they've been snake bitten. But it was kind of funny how I was told that, you know, the Red Sox didn't really have the money to go after Freeman. And Freeman got the same 160 from the Dodgers.
Yep.
So you don't want to get that first baseman in, which I think, dude, Freddie Freeman in Boston's way more effective than Freddie Freeman in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Because Dodger Stadium's a pitcher's ballpark. You got that short perch in right field, the easier AL pitching that you'd have to face. I mean, dude, I don't know why he went to LA, bro. I think that's actually a mistake.
I just think he wanted to come home, man. I that's the only reason I think he took that deal.
Wow.
Because I don't know why he wouldn't have wanted to stay in Atlanta.
Yeah, or go to Boston.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, he's already cemented his legacy in Atlanta. There's some fans that want to retire his number. You're a World Series champion there. If he would have went to Boston and helped them win a World Series, I mean, you already know any player from Boston, you helped them win a World Series. Like even Johnny Damon, he's forever a Red Sox, even though he spent most of his career in New York.
Yep.
So that's just how that goes.
Yeah, you win a championship in Boston, man. You're a Boston whatever for life.
Exactly. They give you some kind of funky nickname, and there you go.
Yep.
But one thing I wanted to ask you, though, have you noticed about these new free agent signings that they're not as high as they were prior to the CBA? We've seen nothing over $2 million. It's all about 150, 120, 160. Coincidence?
Man, I don't know, dude. And the length of some of these deals, and to be real honest with you, where some of these guys ended up, it's like you got Chris Bryant going to what, Colorado?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. Why? I don't understand why you would get Chris Bryant and let Trevor Story walk. I mean, you're obviously not building a winner there, which is bringing in Chris Bryant. It's the same thing in Minnesota with Correa, dude. Like, I'll tell you right now, none of this shit that they're doing, especially in Minnesota, screams we want to win. Especially giving a superstar shortstop a fucking 3-year deal that he can opt out after what, year one?
Year one, yeah.
What the fuck? All that tells me is Minnesota's in it for a cash grab. Both parties are in it for a cash grab. That's going to beef up Minnesota's ticket revenue at the beginning of the season. It's probably beefing up their fucking jersey sales right now.
Yeah.
But that shit ain't going to help you a goddamn bit when the dog days of July and August roll around and the fucking Twins are back in 4th place. And then Correa's looking at his watch, how he always does, and counting his $100 bill stacks. Like, I'm out of here in about 5 months.
Yeah. I'm back on the market. Let me get mine,
Probably back at Houston on a fat contract.
You know, you never know because Houston did spend
Oh.
no money this year. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think you're right. If Minnesota's not contending, he's counting the days to where he's off the Twins.
Yeah, I mean that signing made no fucking sense, dude.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking to win, why the hell would you go to Minnesota?
I don't know. I mean, like they had a decent team for most of the year last year, but I mean, getting rid of Donaldson and other guys and just replacing him with Correa, yeah, Correa could be an upgrade. But
Yeah.
you have a hole at third base. You know, as much as people don't want to hear about it, but Nelson Cruz is a pretty damn good all-star still to this point in his career. He went on another deal, so he's a big bat that the Twins lost. He had a big year again last year for them. So yeah, I really didn't see them upgrade. They didn't really do no upgrading in the pitchings. I mean, Barrios was good and everything, signing him back, but you have to contend with the White Sox, man. And I think
Yeah.
the White Sox are gonna. They know they fell short last year. I think La Russa's out for blood this year. That division's theirs to lose. So I think if the Twins can't compete, maybe they do a fire sale, bro, at the deadline.
Oh, that would. Oh God. I mean it. I mean, if that's the case come July, dude, I mean, you can't do nothing but just laugh at that shit, dude.
Yeah,
It's like really, you just gave a superstar $100 million, and now here you are, 4 months later, pretty much dismantling the entire damn team.
it could come.
You might as well get rid of him too.
It could come down to that because I mean, think about it. If they let some of those lesser teams in that division creep up on them, like your Tigers, who are obviously making strides at getting better. They're a real young baseball team. I'm not going to mention that sorry sack of shit organization in Cleveland. I refuse to name them at all this year. They're worthless to me. The Royals, I think, are building on something. And I think that was smart bringing Greinke back for fans and but it's not like he's going to teach the guys anything because he don't talk to nobody. But but I think they can learn things by watching him, and that's a young, fun team to watch. So if you don't watch it and you don't perform, the Twins could, like you said, find themselves in third or fourth place because those three young teams might be hungry enough to make the next step. And but I think that's the White Sox division to lose.
Yeah, I do too.
The White Sox are stacked.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very fun American League this year. What teams do you think are gonna be a thorn in the Angels' side besides the Mariners, or just maybe a surprise team in your mind?
Oh man. Well, probably Boston. Of course, Boston's always a fucking thorn in our side. Gotta watch out for them Yankees, man. I mean, they're not the evil empire of old, but they can still be the Yankees every once and again. So,
True.
it's hard. I mean, outside of our division,
Mm-hmm.
Toronto maybe.
That's a team I've been circling. You know, someone posted on Instagram and they tagged us about Toronto's overall lineup, and I don't see a weak spot in that lineup.
They're tough.
Yeah, and their starting pitching is fairly good, but their bullpen is even better.
Yep.
So, and I wait, didn't Barrios go there? I mixed him up, right? He's not on the Twins no more. He's on the Blue Jays, right? I think
You know what? I have to look that up.
I think I messed that one up, dude. Yeah, you could look that one up right now. But Toronto is a dangerous baseball team. That East Division, along with Tampa Bay, is. I mean, I feel bad for the Orioles, dude. They can't compete for like the first game of the season. They're pretty much eliminated, dude. There's no way they're gonna catch up with any of those teams, dude.
It's like that joke, if the season would have started, 2 or 3 weeks late, they would have already been out of contention.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I do you remember when Houston first came over to the AL West, and they were terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they were like 10 games out already by the end of April.
I remember they first came out like, oh sweet, another team for the Halos to beat up on.
Yeah, now I'm like, damn, they should stay in the Central, man.
And yes, Jose Barrios is in Toronto.
Yeah, I messed up on that one. Yeah, I was thinking of him in Minnesota, but yeah, they got a nice rotation along with I'm blanking on the other names besides Ryu, but they've got a nice rotation, a pretty decent bullpen. They
were a tough team last year.
Yeah, they're gonna score a lot of runs, dude.
Oh yeah,
A lot of runs.
And I think that team is hungry.
Yeah, they are. They are, and they deserve it up there in Toronto.
Yep.
But man, it's going to be a real fun baseball season, and my expectations from last year and the year before aren't even close to what they are this year. And my hype and excitement. I wasn't hyped during the damn lockout, but now that we got baseball, I sat down and watched an entire preseason game today. I'm into it, man. I'm there. I'm ready. And what are your how much are you ready for this season compared to the last couple seasons, bro?
Oh man. Well, compared to how we were starting off the last offseason, spending, hitting the bargain bins and stuff. Like, I hate that shit. And I get it. Sometimes it just has to be done. Being a Jets fan, I've seen it done plenty of times.
Yeah.
By the way, we're kicking ass in free agency this year. But no, I really love what Perry's done with this team in the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were sitting here bitching about big signings as far as the starting rotation goes, but I mean that Syndergaard signing, if he plays at his capability, could be probably the most underrated signing of the the whole entire offseason, man. I mean, because before he got his injury, he was a stud.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'll tell you right now, with Reed Detmers, with Canning going on the 60-day IL, this is his fucking chance, Todd, right now to start his quote-unquote Rookie of the Year campaign and make sure Griffin Canning never sees the inside of Angel Stadium ever again.
True. That is.
And I really feel like this is right. I don't know if you could trade a guy while he's injured, but when he gets back to being healthy, I really think it's time to start looking for a suitor for Griffin Canning and trade him now while his trade value is high, because if he's an injury prone guy, it's just going to continue hurting his value.
Yeah, or maybe he just needs to change his scenery and he can get going somewhere else. That's why I've said with a guy like Jaime Becerra, because it seems like his chance was a couple seasons ago, but last year he barely got on, but he was coming down the stretch really good. With a logjam of pitching now and the other youthful guys coming up, I would have to say Canning and Jaime are perfect trade candidates to have a fresh start somewhere else, to be given a chance to hit the rotation sooner somewhere else, to where they don't have to ride the AAA bandwagon, come up and then get pushed back down again. So,
right.
I would like those guys get another chance, but I just don't think it's going to be as starters for the Angels. I just don't. And I'm with you on that. Both have talent, but can they stay healthy?
Mm-hmm.
As we move closer to the season, we're going to see some guys, unfortunately, get designated for assignment or sent down. We saw Packy Naughton. I don't know if he's cleared waivers. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but I'm hoping he'll accept the assignment. I would love for that dude to stay in Anaheim, but we just have to see what happens in the next few days, because I would really hate for them to give up on him. He showed some flashes last year, pitching down the stretch when given an opportunity. But again, he could be another trade piece because he's not going to get past Reed. Reed is obviously better. So
younger.
Yeah, younger. So there's a lot to do, like that Perry's got to consider before the season kicks off here pretty soon, and
it's a good problem to have, really.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like I was saying in the chat, and someone didn't agree with me, but it's the old saying, you can never have enough great pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're using it or you're trading it away, for other areas of need. You can never have enough good fucking arms, man.
See, I'm hoping two things happen. I'm hoping that the Angels are having a good season, and I'm hoping that Syndergaard is balling out like you said, because if I'm Perry before the All-Star break, I'm like, hey, man, look, we gave you a chance here in Anaheim. We paid you top dollar. We would like to continue to pay you top dollar. Would you like to sign an extension before you hit the market? Because, if he's balling out, dude, why not? If he's sitting there around the deadline with not the deadline, but the All-Star break with 10, 11 wins already, dude, come stay here. Stay in Anaheim.
Yep. Because that's one less thing you're going to have to worry about in the offseason.
Exactly. You'll have your anchor right there, So I'm hoping that that's the scenario that comes to be, because just a 1-2 punch with him and Ohtani. And if Sandoval logs those innings and keeps us in the game, pitches good, Reed Detmers, Lorenzen, if they all stay healthy, that's a nice 5 that for the first time in about 4 or 5 seasons or even longer, I could be like, all right, well, we have a good chance of taking this series against, say, for instance, the Mariners. I'm not sitting there like, shit, we got Cahill on Monday. We're going to have to score like 6 runs before he gives up 5.
Oh man,
that's how it's been, right? That's how bad it's been. God.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
I mean, it's like I got tired of, like you said, bargain-based pitchers are guys that we're paying contracts to for prior accomplishments. It's like, no, Dick, this guy's been nursing a 6 ERA. Why are we paying him like he has?
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's just a lot of optimism, man.
But I'll tell you this, we gotta start worried about that Ohtani contract, though, man. That extension.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we can get it done sooner or later. Because if he has another season like he did last year, I mean, that price is going to just go through the roof.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially if he wins back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, we're probably going to sit on something where it's higher than Trout.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to maintain that because you're seeing it right now. I mean, you're seeing the 1-year deals. I mean, Angels are handing out 1-year deals. The only difference is we're getting bang for the buck. We're not.
Right.
We're not getting those bargain basement guys. We're getting guys that actually can pitch. So, the team itself, the organization's trending in the right direction, even though the off the field stuff is still a pain in the ass. Do you have any other points as far as free agency? I don't know if I've skipped over anything that you were going to get into.
Not really. It's just the fact that that Perry went out and got. This is for people who pay attention to fantasy sports stuff like that, because I really feel like when you're talking about fantasy, it dives in the numbers and stuff like that. It means something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a guy like Perry that went out and got 2 top 25 relief pitchers. One of them being Raciel Iglesias, we re-signed him. And then a guy like Aaron Loop, man, who had the lowest ERA in baseball last year.
Wow.
I mean, this guy is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the hell he fell in our laps. I honestly, it's over the last couple of years. I don't know how some of these guys how other teams just like, we're all right. I just understand how some of these guys just made it to us.
Mm-hmm. Especially how non-aggressive we were.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. I mean, like we can literally go with 2 guys at the back end of that bullpen that can get you 5 to, one guy can get 4 saves, the other guy, or 4 outs, the other guy can get 5 to put the game away. So we don't have to have a 7th, 8th, and 9th guy. We can just have an 8th and 9th guy, or 7th, 8th, and 9th guy with 2 guys instead of 3. Iglesias did a bunch of times last year, 5 out saves, 4 out saves. He was just rock solid out there. So yeah, those 2 guys alone are enough to scare any team from trailing later than the 7th inning, but you have other guys that are going to be in there to be like, hey, we're going to shut the door on this shit too. So, and especially with the shift still being manageable for baseball teams, you have that under your belt too. So you have an easier time to get guys out, and we have the bull. I mean, on paper right now, like I said last week, the combined ERA of all these pitchers is only 2.91.
Wow.
That's for the entire on the paper guys that are going to be on the Angels staff. That's incredible. Going from like you said, the last ranked, 24th ranked, all the way down to what they could be top 5 or better.
Mm-hmm. And I really think that's going to be the case. I think this is a top 5 bullpen.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's going to be exciting. I mean, we got a lot of firearms in there. We got, and even if you're out of market or if you're in Alabama, you're an Angels fan, the Trash Pandas have a great team coming back. They went to the postseason. Salt Lake Bees did not have the greatest this season, but they had a lot of good performances. Stefanik and the pitching was good. We're going to have that again with Salt Lake. So, I mean, this organization for the first time in a long time is coming together. and it may not be a coincidence that Perry is behind it. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's like the last couple of years, like, what we've been saying. It's like, this team just, it doesn't do anything to win. And, we sit here and complain and complain and complain. And for the first time, I would say maybe 2 or 3 years at least, it's starting to feel like maybe Artie's letting his general manager do his own thing. Maybe we're not going out and shelling out hundreds of millions for starting pitching. But to be honest with you, when you look back at last season, is hundreds and hundreds of $1 million worth of starting pitching really what we needed though? Because we had one of the dead last bullpens in all of baseball. And it's like I keep saying, if you had a bullpen that was worth a shit last year and maybe didn't blow at least 10 of those games, we're a playoff team. And now with the upgrades that you've added to this team, going from basically 24 to top 5, hopefully, dude, I mean, I don't know how you can't have success. And especially another thing over the last few years, how many times have we said, good God, we got the offense. How many times are we going to score 7, 8 runs and lose this fucking game? So now, really, you don't have any excuses. Offense needs to go out there and keep performing like they have. And now we finally got the bullpen that can go in there and shut it the fuck down.
Yeah. And you're not going to lose these games where, like last year, where it was a hell of a performance pitching, but the hitting didn't get going. So you're in a 1-1 game in the 8th inning. Then some guy comes in and all of a sudden, final score from Anaheim, 4-1 sucks.
Yep.
That's what happened. Even in tie games, we were like blowing it. So, yeah, I feel much better if we have a lead or a tied going late into games, and then you don't have that janky rule where the runner's at second base in extra innings. So,
yeah, thank God, man.
they got to work for it. So that's another feather in our cap. If the bullpen is that good, we're not behind the 8 ball there either. So, I think for the first time in a long time, it's going to be down to hitting. I have all the faith in the world in the pitching. And as we get closer to the regular season, it's just getting fun to talk about individual performances and now spring training. And then also we're going to be able to talk about division winners who we predict and everything. Then we have the 2002 stuff coming up. But I want your thoughts, seeing the first couple games real quick, on Mike Lorenzen's first appearance and Reed Detmers.
Oh, I'm impressed. Well, today I was really impressed with Detmers, man. He was balling 5Ks. I mean, he looks like he's ready to go, dude. He's like, you know what? Let's just get this thing going. I'm ready to rock and roll. Give me my goddamn rookie of the year. But I like Lorenzen too, man. I mean, it's like you said, we keep forgetting about the guy. But there's a reason Perry went out and got him, and the other day, he looked really good, dude.
Like, he did really 2/3 as well.
No.
So
I'm excited about those guys.
What do you think of the differences from Reed? Because I picked up on my difference. I mean, some people will say the pitching and everything, but his presence on the mound, though, he looked more like he looked scared last year at times. This year, he looks just, I don't know, like this first game, he looked dialed in, dude.
Yeah, I think it's just having a full off season to focus on like, hey, I'm getting a spring call up. I have a chance to make the major league club. He's not wondering, I got to do this to try and make the major league club, or he's not dealing with minor league bullshit now. He could focus on making the big league club. He could just focus on pitching. And you get a focus Reed Detmers, man. Whew, it could get scary.
And it's scary to think we just drafted him in 2020 too. So it wasn't like we drafted him like in 2017.
Right.
He's up there fast.
I mean, and that should tell you something right there.
Yeah. And we're gonna see probably 3 or 4 more of him come through the minors because because of who and how they're drafting these guys, man. So for the first time in a long time, with Perry being here and him focusing a lot more on pitching, this team sort of seems like they're coming together like the Atlanta Braves. The Braves kind of built themselves around pitching before they found Acuna, before they started getting other guys to fill the void along with Freeman. their hitting wasn't really that strong suit until that World Series year of last year. So, we'll see. But I'm definitely liking where this team's going right now, and obviously they got to play the games. But
Right. Well, can I ask you a question?
go for it, man.
What do you, or I should say, how do you feel about Upton taking some reps at first base?
Has he?
That's apparently. I haven't read too much more into it, but apparently that might be the plan going forward in order to be able to get Adele and Marsh in the lineup at the same time.
Man, where would you put Walsh though?
Oh, you'd still have him as the starting first baseman. Upton would just kind of be your backup, I guess. Kind of a platoon type deal.
I'd be like,
it's I guess it's got to play the contract. I'd just get rid of his ass like we did Pujols, to be honest with you.
Exactly. If he could catch, I think he'd be the perfect catch.
Because granted, he's never played first base in his life.
Yeah. He's never. I don't even think he's played the infield. Right? He's been always outfield.
It's like that scene out of Moneyball. It's
Yeah.
like, what are we going to teach one of the fans how to play first base?
You know what? He's done wilder things because didn't Oakland a few years ago? This kid was they had this machine, a pitching machine, to see how fast you could throw a ball, and he threw it 97, and he wasn't in college. He wasn't. He only played high school baseball briefly, and Oakland wound up taking him, and I think he's close to AAA already.
No shit.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Sorry.
But I would take, if the opportunity arisen, if he could play first base, that's just another, way you can, like you said, play Marsh and Adele. Because, there's just so many things that, you're hamstrung by Upton's contract, unfortunately.
Yep.
And the thing is, when he's on, he could hit and he could carry a team. So you always forget you have that power bat in the lineup, but then there's those times where it's just like he can't hit the broadside of a barn.
It's like sometimes he forgets even how to locate a fastball, man. Jesus Christ. You figure one of the easier pitches to hit as you get older, and he can't even – some days he's just like,
yeah.
Can you throw it yet?
Well, the thing is, it's crazy with Upton because you hang a slider or a curveball, he ain't going to miss it. But, boy, you could burn a fastball or a changeup by him like nothing. So – I don't know.
It seems like at this stage of the game, he's one of them streaky kind of guys.
Very much.
When he's hot, he's fucking locked in, dude. But when he's cold, hang it the fuck up. We're done.
Yeah, bench.
Yep.
It's just okay. Here's my question to you: does he last the whole season on the roster?
Oh man, that's tough. I'd say if the Halos are playing some lights out ball. And maybe could use an upgrade somewhere, especially in the pitching department. Mm-hmm. I think, especially if Canning is, if he's down there in the minors or something, he's pitching lights out. It's tough, dude. If that's the scenario, I would think the Angels would be willing to maybe eat a good, at least half of that contract to get rid of him and bring somebody in. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's tough.
No, I'm with you there. I can't see him batting 210 with 12 homers and maybe 36 RBIs, 37 RBIs, and a shitload of strikeouts in August. So, for me, if he's putting up those numbers, I think you eat the contract, like you said, at least what's left, because ain't no one going to take him. You ain't going to package him in nothing. You may get lucky and – maybe he balls out and he has maybe 15 homers before the break and he's got 50 RBIs and then another team's looking at him like, hey, we need an outfielder. We had an injury. And it's like, okay, well, you need pitching too? You can take Canning and this guy. We want this guy to help us out, this stud. Maybe you could package him that way, pay the rest of his contract. We've talked about that a lot, but
oh yeah.
But the best case scenario would be that if he had those numbers and he's getting better pitches to hit because of the guys that are in the lineup being healthy, and he could help us make a postseason run. Honestly, I love the guy. I wish nothing but success for him. It's not like I hate the guy, but his contract, and then, like you said, he's so streaky. We need consistency, not inconsistency.
Yeah, it's like you said. The ideal scenario for Upton would for him to be fully healthy this year, or at least healthy-ish,
Yeah.
and maybe, go out with a fucking career year, man.
Yes.
Fall the fuck out. That would be idea because a healthy Upton, when he's hot, he is fucking. He's one of the best in the league, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no denying that. So, I mean, that would be idea for Angels fans because there should be no Angel fans that wants to see Upton fail this year.
Or any.
I mean, ideally, you want to see that son of a bitch succeed.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it may mean that probably a guy like Marsh or Adele may not see as much playing time, but who gives a fuck? As long as Upton's healthy, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And these guys know best that, if they'll be cheering. I mean, as much as they want their individual status to go up and everything. I know Adele wants to be the everyday left fielder or whatever, and same thing with Marsh. But if you think about it, it's a team game, and you're not going to win anything if you're against your teammate. So yeah, I mean Upton, I'm sure they want him to succeed, and I'm hoping he can because. I mean, you think about it. This too. I think he's going to be 36 this year, or something like that.
Yeah.
He may have another 2-year deal upcoming if he plays his balls right. It sounded wrong. It sounded wrong right when I thought about it. No, if he gets out there and maybe tears it up, maybe he can latch on to another team, as a designated hitter, and not have to be the everyday outfielder in his next contract. But, like you said, we never rooted against Pujols to suck. We just made fun of him when he did suck. Because we wanted him to hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, but he just never did it after a while. So
exactly. No, and it's like I said, you want to see the guy succeed. I mean, because if he's succeeding, we're succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is, man.
Yeah.
And you're right. If he can show he still got it, and especially if he can stay healthy-ish, with the designated hitter rule the way it is now, I could easily see his career being extended a couple more years, especially if he doesn't have to play, a position every day. He just, slot him in, to bat. He'll be fine, especially in the National League.
Oh, yeah. You have all these teams now that are going to need an extra player in the National League. So it's not just the American League where you're fighting the same old designated hitters. Other guys can transform from an outfielder position to extend their career to a designated hitter.
Nelson Cruz, he's doing it. He's already in his 40s.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of these guys are going to hang around. That's why I figured that was what Pujols was cheering for the most this offseason was please make it a universal DH because I will have a job to get my 700 home runs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are going to extend their careers. I'm surprised Yadier, didn't do that with his career. He could primarily play another couple years too as a DH, but
oh yeah, easy.
He wants to stay that catcher route.
Yeah.
But we'll have to keep an eye on that too. Not to say Stassi can't do his thing, but maybe a team's going to start to suck that has a good catcher. Maybe the Angels kind of be like, catcher,
Wilson Contreras over in Chicago, man.
Yeah.
I've been clamoring for that guy for 2 years now.
You have. Oh, man, it's just certain. It's frustrating sometimes as a fan. Like you'll have teams that like the Mets that'll go out there and just give you a real happy offseason. You can't say shit. You can't complain. And then you have teams like us over the years, and we're like, will please just do something. Frustrate you because you see a guy that's like worth it. Just spend $1 million more here, and you'll get him. They don't want that. So we've had a mixture of that this year. We've had a few that have gotten away, but we've brought a few in too. So
yeah, and I'm very happy with the guys that we brought in. I mean, go get your vote for Perry shirts right now, y'all.
yeah. You know what? And that's one of the shirts I don't have from the Heedy Baseball Network merchandise. So you might want to look into that if you haven't already. But vote for Perry. I got to get that shirt. It's genius. By the way, look at that banner behind you. I just want that mean mug of Troy Percival right there. I love that. He was definitely a gamer, and all those greats up there, Garrett Anderson and Eckstein and Gloss.
Oh yeah,
that's a sick poster.
We have down here. You got Washburn, Spezio, one of the heroes.
Oh yeah.
There's Kingfish.
Absolutely.
My boy K-Rod right down there.
Man, you gotta love that, dude. And
I love this poster.
And see we've already looked at the promos. Do you know their promo nights on Wednesday for the 2002? On a Wednesday.
That's horrible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, why would that not be on a Saturday night, especially on a firework night?
Yeah, we're gonna. I have a feeling we're gonna be carrying the torch for these guys all year.
We have been so far in some
Yeah.
areas.
Well, wait till what we got going on here in a couple weeks here, man.
We got our big 20th anniversary World Series watch party.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, we actually have a few pods between that to talk about how the team was constructed, the regular season, the playoff run, and then like Randy said, we have a game 6, game 7, probably with multiple guys from this page sitting back and watching the game with you pitch by pitch and enjoying the game 6 comeback and the euphoria of the game 7 championship. Man, I'm looking forward to that.
Man, I can never get enough Angels World Championship footage, man.
Oh yeah.
I like some new stuff, but I'll keep watching the old stuff until then.
Yeah. I would like to, because I know we made fun of Dodger fans, and I'm still making fun of them because the last real World Series championship came on VHS. And I would like to say, hey, man, we streamed the World Series championship. You guys are still watching VHS.
That's right.
But, yeah,
so
man.
We want to show these Dodgers and these Rams fans and all that how to have a real championship parade.
Exactly. Not with like 30 people on the sideline or no.
They probably paid them to show up.
Yeah, the price tag still on their jerseys. So pathetic. Oh man. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. 20-year anniversary. It's hard to believe it's already here.
Yeah, dude. I was just thinking that too. I can't believe it's been fucking 20 years, man.
Yep. I still remember, and I'll share this too when we do the watch party, but when Spezio hit that ball, I was on my couch and our living room was big, so we had the TV far away, like good 10, 15 feet. I was sitting against the wall because I was just sitting there like, oh man, this is an effed up game. But when he hit it, I remember like jumping off the couch, sliding across the floor on my knees, and just going go 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 go, and it went.
Oh yeah, I ran out my grandma's door screaming. And mind you, at this time, she's long past, but at this time, man, she was living in an older folks' home, dude. Oh. And I was getting ready to go to culinary school at the end of that week. And oh man, I'm sitting there when he hit that home run, dude. I'm running out like, oh my god, dude! I wanted to start getting naked and shit. I'm waking up all the fucking old people and all that. I was like, I don't give a shit.
I know
I've now waited longer for my second world championship than I waited for my first one because I was 18 when they won the first one.
Yeah.
So you should figure I waited about, I got it in about 15 years. I waited for that first world. And now we're here at the 20-year mark.
Yeah.
I'm starving for another one, damn it.
I'm telling you, if history repeats itself, hopefully it does. In 95, we had that good year and then the collapse. And then we had 7 dull-ass years till the 2002. Well, after the last playoff run in 14, we've had 7 dull-ass years. So it's time. Oh,
shit.
It's time. It could be time.
Woo, Todd's writing his own narrative, baby.
Exactly.
I love it.
Championship. Pushing it, man.
We got the squad, man. It's just like we were saying the other day. You just got to stay healthy, man.
Yeah. I mean,
and you get in the post. It's like I said, get in the postseason. You can't script October. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And take away the lollipop year from a couple years ago. Look at last year, though. The Atlanta Braves, who would have thought mid-season Atlanta would be the team? Everyone was saying, Atlanta's like the team that just snake-bitten. They got a lot of injuries. They're underperforming. And then look where they wind up in. The World Series.
And they made 2 key trades and bam, changed the season around.
Yeah, they changed their outfield 3 times. And then you go up against the Brewers. And I wrote them off. I'm like, well, Braves are going to get swept. And they sweep the Brewers.
Yep.
And then they take on the Dodgers. I'm like, well, that's an easier track for the Dodgers to get back to the World Series. Nope, they took out the Dodgers. So I mean, it shocked me last year, man. Mm-hmm. The only team that I saw that was comparable to that was, I think, a few years back when the the Cardinals were barely over 500, maybe like 2 games over 500. They somehow made the playoffs in the week central, and they went on to win the whole damn thing. So,
Right.
like you said, you just get hot at the right time, and who knows what could happen, man. Just
Look at the Angels in 2002. We weren't supposed to beat the fucking Yankees or the Twins.
we were.
Hell no, dude. And
We
we
were-
whooped their ass.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to be lucky just to be there. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So-
We should have never got past the Yankees, dude.
The
Nope,
New York media just saw us as a stepping stone to Oakland, and both
yeah.
those teams got knocked out.
Mhm.
Nobody thought it was going to be Angels Twins.
Nope. That was just a year of destiny, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of that year, and we brought up Dusty Baker earlier. Can you believe that's the other thing that'll age a lot of us? Dusty Baker's kid that was rescued by JT Snow, he made his AAA debut.
Yep. Did you see what Dusty said when they sent him out for the lineup card or whatever? Dusty looks at the other coach. He's like, "Oh, that's wrong."
Oh, I mean, not AAA debut, Major League. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I mean, I was having this conversation with somebody in the Halo camp about this today too. It's like, good God, dude. I mean, that just makes you feel real old, man. Because he was just a little tiny thing about ready to get ran over by JT Snow, you know?
Oh, I know.
And now here he is playing fucking Major League Baseball.
I still don't understand how you have that many guys. And think about it. It's 25 usually. And I forget how many are in the dugout because you got guys in the bullpen. But when it's the playoffs, you have all the guys who are on the 40-man roster, and then you got media and everything. How did that little tyke just make it out of the dugout all the way to freaking home plate with nobody seeing him? I mean,
Mid play too.
Yeah.
Like I get it. He was the bat boy or whatever for the series or whatever.
Yeah.
But how did nobody pull him back while he was literally running out there while the fucking play was still going on? It's like, oh, get his ass!
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ, man! He got real lucky though, man. I mean, it could have gone bad.
It would have been real sad if something happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
it could have got tragic.
But
yeah, I mean, it's cool, man, to see him. You know, here we are, 20 years later, and he's playing Major League Baseball. That's cool.
yeah. And that's the other thing, too. We've seen a lot around the league about second-generation players. Like Toronto's full of them. And you got a lot of guys who are, I remember his dad when he played. And it's a pretty cool throwback. So, well, yeah, I mean, if Torrey Hunter's son could ever come up to the organization, that's another guy right there. He's in the Eagles organization. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. We've harped on that a lot tonight. You got anything else besides? We didn't even tell him when is that the 2002 celebration? When does it kick off?
Oh, the weekend of April 2nd and the 3rd, 6 p.m.
There you go.
We'll be posting something with some information on it for you guys.
Yeah, there you go. So
But make sure you're there. Everybody, you asses better be there.
Yeah, we want to hear your comments, what you were thinking, the whole 9 yards. I mean, because we're gonna be chiming in too.
Yeah, I want to know what was going on in your lives, when this was happening.
Yeah, because we'll read all the comments. We'll get to the comments. We'll just be like, hey, if you have a story to tell, what it meant to you, everything. So it should be a lot of fun coming up here soon.
Oh yeah.
So you got anything else for this episode, Randy?
No, that's it, brother.
Covered everything. Yeah. As we get closer, we're gonna get into more stats, and then we're gonna it's really gonna be like, hey man, who got snubbed for the roster? Who got lucky to be on the roster? We're gonna get into all that. There's a lot to talk about. We'll talk about stuff that's gonna be happening with the broadcasting crew because it seems to be changing on a weekly basis. God, dude, gone through so many goddamn broadcasters, more than our pitchers. But yeah, we got that to deal with, and then and then the regular season is just right around the freaking corner, dude. Just a couple weeks away.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna see how things go.
Baseball season is back, baby.
Hell yeah, dude! I can finally forget about my Seahawks losing Russell Wilson. See, who would have thunk it, bro? You're just as excited for this season as you are the Jets' upcoming season, man. You got a lot to look forward to.
Oh, dude. I know, man. My sports life is starting to turn around. Woo!
There you go.
It's touching me in places I'm not used to.
You're on my nipples, man.
You're excited.
Yeah, exactly. Check out these nipples.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. All
It
right.
just feels good to have two teams finally got some GMs that know what the fuck they're doing.
Absolutely. And it's amazing what you could do if you let your people, if you get the right people first off, and you let them do their job. And I think that's what we've been clamoring
Exactly.
so long. I still don't think he's 100% in control, but I think he did give he at least let Perry drive the car on the weekends. You know what I mean? He's not let him drive the car the entire week, but he's let him drive on the weekends.
Right.
So that's more than what our buddy Epler got to do. Epler was in the back seat all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah. He felt like he was just getting Ubered everywhere. But yeah. There's our show for this week. And any final comments? You want to promote anything before we get out of here?
No, just check out the merch shop. Be ready for that 20th anniversary watch party, and let's just go Angels, man. This is gonna be an exciting season, folks. Buckle up and get fucking ready, man.
Absolutely. All right. So for Todd Fox and our always impressionable
Randy Oz, baby.
There you go. And Fernando, stay safe out there wherever you're traveling to. We'll catch up with you later in the week.